Hello, this is Bern, and if you're experiencing disappointment, frustration, anger, fear, anxiety in your process of dating, on today's episode, I'm going to share with you how you can transform this experience into one that is far more meaningful to your life and the life of the man you end up being with through treating dating as a spiritual practice. Hello, this is Bern. Welcome to BernMendez.com, a space where I share with ambitious, conscious, heart-centered, high-performing women how you can create the kind of relationship you want and attract the quality man that you long for as a direct result of stepping into the most alive and the most feminine version of you. Now, I get it. If you're on the same boat that many of the women who first reach out to me are, where you're feeling like you've had it with apps, you've had it with connecting with guys, you've had it with people who ghost you, you've had it with people who lie to you, you've had it with men who show up but then stop showing up. I get how frustrating that might be. And to a certain extent, you might be viewing dating as the painful process through which you'll eventually find your soulmate. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Today, I'm going to invite you to a higher level meaning of what dating can be. Because what if dating, instead of being the sad process through which you can catch a husband, becomes a spiritual training ground through which you can become the most passionate self, the most grounded self, the most expressive self that you've ever been? So think about it. I'm going to express to you a couple of tenets, I think, that are very important if you want to step into dating, not as something you have to do, but as a spiritual practice. The first one is the concept of knowing that who you become through the process of dating is greater even than what you get. Yes, if you do dating consciously, you'll end up getting a soulmate. But getting a soulmate is different from becoming the woman who gets a soulmate. Do you catch that small difference? One is you're able to get it no matter what happens, and you might be conscious or unconscious in the process. If you treat becoming a woman of even more value, of stronger need expressiveness, of more self-love through dating, then what you end up getting at the end is a relationship that will be self-sustaining at a greater level than if you don't do it that way. Second one is that most human beings, you and I included, will rise to the level that life asks of us. What does that mean? Well, you see an example of maybe a mom who never knew how strong she was until she found herself in an accident and single-handedly moves a car out of desperation, but also need. You'll find the example of a human being who found all the challenges against him or her, and only when things got really bad did he or she find the strength and the providence and the courage to change life in a massive way. So if you understand that you will grow more as a human being, as a woman, through stepping into this process of dating, you'll have to step into qualities of yourself. You'll have to hone in skills that you would have never had to grow into had you just been given what you wanted without working for it. Then you'll understand that that process is valuable in and of itself. Now, imagine that you're someone who likes to meditate. And imagine that you're someone who's able to find inner peace at the top of a mountain, meditating, watching a sunrise, or watching a sunset with birds chirping around you, with the wind blowing in your face. Well, that is a specific level of challenge. It's not easy to pull off, but it's doable. Now imagine finding the same level of peace in a busy intersection in a big city like New York. Now that's a lot more challenging. Why? Because there's going to be more distractions, and if you can manage to be zen and at peace in the midst of an intersection, you will have mastered yourself and become more emotionally fit than if you can only do it in the middle of a mountain. It's not different than dating. If you can date consciously, you can be a better partner through the process. So I'm going to share with you a few of the benefits, spiritual benefits of treating dating as a spiritual practice. The first one is you can find and step into your worth. That's a spiritual practice in and of itself. Why? Because when you date, you'll have to recognize the value that you bring to the table, your beauty, your curves, your joy, your passion, to be able to bring it to the forefront and know that you deserve better than you have had before if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to ask for what you want, right? Which is the next step. Second benefit you'll get if you treat dating as a spiritual practice is you'll learn to express your needs in a much powerful way. Expressing your needs includes, by definition, that you have to understand your own needs. If you don't understand them, you can't express them. So dating will force you to ask yourself a philosophical question. What do I value most? What do I want out of this relationship? What do I want from a man? What do I want to bring to the table? So that's expressing your needs. And then sharing what you need to that man. Sharing your needs steps into benefit number 3, which is you will learn how to set healthier boundaries without feeling guilty. Because for so many of you, part of the reason why you haven't had what you want or why you've stayed in relationships that are painful for longer than you need to is because you have failed in that moment to set strong boundaries in a healthy way. And sometimes we don't set boundaries because we feel we're going to hurt the other person, but we can set boundaries with compassion and clarity. We can set boundaries with kindness and firmness. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. Fourth benefit, spiritual benefit of dating will be you can be witnessed. It may have been a while before someone sees the truth of who you are, your greatness and your imperfections, your joy and your vulnerability. And through conscious dating, you can be witnessed and experienced by someone who would not have had a chance to connect with you and see you and reflect back great things about you if you had stayed watching Netflix in your home drinking a glass of wine. The fifth benefit is you will be not just witnessed, but known. You'll be known. Somebody will understand your intricacies and your quirkiness and your just random thoughts and your thoughtful thoughts, all of the things that you are. The more you express yourself, especially to a conscious person, the more you can be not just witnessed, but known. And being known, being experienced, being seen are some of the most powerful experiences you can have in this lifetime. As a matter of fact, if you think about someone who's reaching the end of their life, part of the meaning of life, part of what you take with you, part of what determines and defines how incredible or how shitty your life was, is how much you were able to experience human beings and be experienced by human beings. Next one seems an obvious one, but it's not so obvious, which is you'll eventually get to be loved by the right person. Being loved, I don't know that there's something more spiritual to be experienced than to be loved, because that's where you get a chance to recognize that there's a spark of divinity in you that's worth being loved and taken care of and cherished and praised and adored. And that experience is transformational. When you experience deep love from someone, you walk differently, you talk differently, you can perform differently at work, you have better ideas, you have more fuel in your tank to be kind and compassionate to others. So being loved is one of the biggest spiritual gifts of dating consciously, eventually when you find the right partner. The last one is to love. The spiritual benefit of going through this transformation. And love doesn't just mean loving a man. That's going to be incredible for you to be able to express yourself that way to one human being. But love as in a verb, the verb of loving yourself every step of the way. The love of seeing your imperfections and loving where you are no matter how much you're fumbling. The love of witnessing your courage as you shake but still are able to take action, give that first kiss, hold hands. All of this can make you a human being that's more conscious, more giving, more selfless, more high value, and who can bring more of you into the world. Because ultimately, my firm belief and my observation, having helped so many women around the world to find the type of partner they've been seeking for many years, is that when you get together with the right person, it's like 1 + 1 = 100. It does not equal 2. There's so much more that you and that human being create a third entity called a relationship. And the relationship can feed into the world, can be the best of both of you, and leave seeds that make you both transcend and leave the world a better place, which is part of what we need right now in this day and time. So hope you find this helpful, insightful, and useful. If you do, I'm gonna ask you to do one thing. On the first link in the description of this video, if you wanna learn more about how you can inspire the level of commitment you want with the right man, I've created a class that all you have to do is click on the first link, enter your name and email, and you'll be immediately redirected to that class that will show you with more depth how you can create that relationship. If you like this video, click like and thumbs up. subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on new episodes. And last but not least, if you're finding this beneficial and you don't want to go the route of figuring this stuff on your own, and you want my help and hand-holding, I have a limited number of spots to help women around the world do this. So there's an application that you can submit to see if we're a fit to work together. That's gonna be on the link on the description as well. Thank you so much for connecting with me, and I challenge you as always to live a full and a conscious life.